you have here is a failure to communicate. So we get what we had last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it. Come November 15th, Big Bad Bonner is gonna blow your mind, Tito Ortiz.
Gregory Stone, MMAcup.com. Joining me on today's show, we are former UFC heavyweight fighter and Stephan Bonner's mystery man, Justin McCully. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Hey, great to be back. Thanks so much.
Now, Justin, I spoke to Ken Shamrock the other day and Tito's good friend, JT. I know you listened to both the interviews. Ken Shamrock, he fired a couple of shots chosen Stephan's way, but we'll get to Ken in just a minute. But the interesting thing was from JT. He mentioned he's got a couple of wild cards, and I don't know if it was a threat, Justin. It sounded like a threat. He warned you if you continue to attack Tito Ortiz, then he will. Well, basically, he made two threats. He knows a little bit of history on you, which he doesn't want to reveal, but I'm pretty sure if he was forced to, it might come out, a couple of secrets. And then, second of all, we had the wild cards. Do you know what JT's talking about with these wild cards, Justin?
I have no idea what this guy's talking about. This guy, JT Tropics. I mean, I did my homework on this guy too. You know, apparently he's a pretty cool guy. You know, he's a hanger-oner. He's a fan. You know, he's got enough money to get into people's camps and things like that, make a difference or something. But, you know, to make a threat about me when you don't know me, and to sit down and to jump on the bandwagon and jump on the hype wagon when you're a social media manager, I mean, I guess that is your job, you know, to create the hype and to get on, you know, your athlete's side and represent them the best you can and try to debunk anything that's out there. But, I mean, they went far and beyond what we did. I mean, all basically, and I didn't necessarily agree with what, you know, Stephan said at the end there was, you know, I feel sorry for Jenna, but basically all he said was, I feel sorry for Jenna. He didn't put any connotation on it. He didn't say why he felt sorry for her. He just said, I felt sorry for her. And these guys come out of the woodwork with why they feel they need to defend themselves. Well, you defended yourself and you started airing a bunch of things that you thought we said, but we didn't say any of that. We never attacked his family, and personally, I didn't say anything.
Can I stop you there, Justin? Can I stop you there a second? Did you see the tweets what Stephan Bonner made about comparing Tito Ortiz to War Machine?
See, now that's something I didn't see, and you know, I mean, that's yeah, I don't know, that's news to me, but that, you know,
I think we're looking at Ken alluded to that. Obviously, if his children see the tweets, and it's not very nice for people to spread rumours about, you know, daddy beating up mummy, etc., especially when he wasn't convicted of it. I think that's what he was trying to get at. But continue there, Justin. Sorry to cut you off.
I mean, I can agree with that. I mean, when it gets personal, it gets a little bit dirty and muffled up. But again, you know, at the live audience, at the crowd, all he said was, I feel sorry for Jenna. And unfortunately, it turned into, you know, this wild storm of, you shouldn't attack my family and talked about my fans. He didn't talk about your fans. He just told your fans about you. And then he said he felt sorry for your ex-girlfriend. But he never alluded to why. Now, if he said something about War Machine earlier, I guess that could push, you know, some sort of meaning to that comment. But, you know, there's a lot of things that it could have also meant otherwise. So I think that they attacked the gray area and felt the need to defend themselves. And for whatever reason, that's what it is. My personal motive there was not to go out there and attack Tito Ortiz's personal life and family life. It was to attack him as an athlete and let him know that, hey, a guy, me, that helped you get a lot of those victories, I was right there by your side through the thick and thin. And you got guys like JT saying they came into team punishment when Tito was left all alone and everybody abandoned him. Well, that was the second time that everybody abandoned him. And JT, I promise you, I was you, buddy. I was his best friend, his confidant. If anybody said anything to him, I'd attack them till I was blue in the face, you know. And so I feel sorry for you, buddy. You're gonna learn the hard way, just as all of us did. And you say it's a tight little knit group, you know, of people that hang around still. Well, that's because there's only a couple of you left. And you came in at a time when if he does the same thing to you guys, he's not gonna have any friends. So you guys can sit there and defend him like you know him. and defend what happened when you guys weren't there. But I swear I never saw JT Tropics not once in my life. I don't know who the guy is. I don't know where he came from, came out of the woodwork, but he was definitely not there in any of the early years of the punishment days and has no grounds to speak on it. So I don't know where he became this expert on me or anybody else in the crew, but as far as I know, nobody who was there actually knows him. And if he wants to dig into the woodwork and go grab these guys from the past, these supposed coattail riders, and have them tell their story, I go for it, buddy. I invite you to have at it, and I dare you to find one that has a story that's going to tell anything separate than mine.
Now, as I mentioned, I spoke to Ken Shamrock. He fired a few shots yours in Stefan's way. Now, I know you listened to the interview with Ken. What did you make of what Ken had to say about you and Stefan?
Well, I like Ken. We did business in the past. You know, he's a good guy, dude. I mean, really, really good dude. I always respected Ken Shamrock a lot, so I don't want to say anything bad about him. I do think he's one of the patriarchs of our sport. And again, we did some business, and it went very, very well. But when you come in and say things like, you know, I'm just trying to get back in the limelight, or if I really wanted to be there, then I should fight and things like that. Well, as you know, Ken, from our dealings, I not only fight, but I also, you know, manage and produce deals in the background, some that he benefited by. I also coach, and I have an impeccable coaching record standing on the cage. I've worked with some of the best in this industry. I could name Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer whose corner I've been in. And so the point there was that I was standing in Stefan's corner. It really wasn't about the personal stuff. I didn't really want it to be about the personal stuff. I wanted it to be more about, hey, Tito, guess what? One of the guys that you depended on for victories, who you had a very, very successful run with when he was in your corner and helping you out, isn't there for you this time. And guess what? He's there for the other guy this time. And so that was the message we were trying to send, and that we did send personally to Tito. That's why it affected him so much, and he got so hurt and had to come out and defend himself, and even call on guys like Ken Shamrock to come to his aid, because he needed some sort of sway in the public opinion. He was scared that his image was going down, that people were going to find out the real Tito. And you got guys like Jay Tropics and Ken Shamrock coming out of the woodwork to try to defend you. Well, that's fine, but these guys talk about if you're not in the fight, then you have no business there. Well, I'm actually in the corner. I'm actually a part of the fight, a part of the show. These guys are not. Like, Ken, you have nothing to do with this. Jay, you have absolutely nothing to do with this. I mean, I have no idea. If you guys are saying you're not supposed to come out of the bleachers and get involved, I mean, you guys came from the parking lot. So I'm at least on the cage that night. I'm at least on the skirt, and I'm at least involved in the action. You guys are coming out of nowhere trying to get your 5 minutes of fame off of what's happening in something that I produced. So you're welcome, guys. You're welcome, Tito Ortiz, because what just happened is all the eyeballs on the show and all the eyeballs on this incident created a stir, which creates more opportunity for more money and sponsorships and all kinds of stuff. So you're welcome, guy.
You mentioned Ken Shamrock benefited financially from you. How far does yours and Ken's history go?
Say again?
How much do you really know Ken? Have you been friends in the past, etc.?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, when you talk about how well do I know him, I helped Don Fry train for the fight with Ken Shamrock. I
Wow.
stood on the corner for that one. I stood on the corner with Tito Ortiz when he beat him multiple times. So I've been on the other side of the cage from Ken many, many times, and victorious each and every time. Then beyond that, we had some dealings, you know, and it was great success. You know, we had a campaign for New Japan Pro Wrestling that worked out quite well. And Ken's just always been a legend. He's just always been a guy that I looked up to in the sport, and somebody that even though I was on the other side of the cages, it was almost like sad for me to get those victories because he was such an icon in the sport and somebody I looked up to so much. So, but again, it's competition, it's business, and business is business, and you gotta help your fighter win, and that's what I did. And so, if he's jealous about that, and he's got a hard on for me because I stood on the other side of the cage and was victorious against him, then I don't know, maybe that's his beef.
I noticed you and Ken, you've been going back and forth on Twitter. It's pretty friendly right now. Do you plan on keeping it friendly or do you think it's something that might escalate potentially?
Like I said, I have the utmost respect for the guy. If he wants to escalate it, I have no problem with it. I mean, he's the one who's jumping in. You know, he's the one who said, I got your back. Well, hey, bro, you're jumping into the mix. I mean, you're jumping into the mix. I let him know, like, whatever you want, bro. I mean, I'm not jumping into your business. I didn't jump across the board to get into something you're involved in. You came at me. You put my name in your mouth. You started talking bad about me. This JT Tropish guy's making threats about me, telling me I better watch out. Buddy, I'm just going to let you know now, Justin McCully is not the guy you threaten, okay? Period.
Well, staying on Ken Shamrock for a second, Ken made a very good point in the interview with me. He mentioned that Stephan Bonnar could have potentially snuck by Tito Ortiz. On paper, to most fans, it's a very close fight. Now, it seems like, Stephan Bonner's woken Tito Ortiz up. I'm not sure if you've seen the video that Tito posted where he said he's training to hurt Stephan Bonnar. But would you sort of agree that you've woke Tito Ortiz up now and it's potentially a bad move for Stephan?
No, I don't. I think Tito is at his best when he's calm in his mind. And when he has something like this stirring him up and making it a real fight and not just an athletic contest, it's a little bit more difficult for him to get in there and be confident. And that's exactly what we knew. We were playing on that psychology, and we'll continue to. He's an animal. Tito Ortiz is a great fighter. We take, I will never say anything other than that. I'll always give him his credit where credit's due. Very smart guy, amazing marketer, one of the best business minds in our business and in our industry. And I think, his little response there, that was the most planned out, written out response to anything I've ever seen. I mean, I think his acting coach was sitting right behind the camera telling him, no, wait, pause just a little bit more before you say, I feel sorry for you, Stephan. No, wait, I don't feel sorry for you because I'm going to break your face and cave your face in and blah, 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 blah. Well, I mean, that's some pretty intelligent things to be saying. Those are some real intelligent rebuttals, calling people bitch boy, scumbag, drug addict, all these things. And I mean, are those really, really like classy comments? Is the way he's handling himself? Like a big boy, like a bad boy, or is it more like a whiner? He's kind of whiny and it almost looked like he was crying in that video a little bit. And on that emotion, hey, I feel the same, buddy. But remember, all throughout the last few years when you called me for help with your court cases, with your kids and whatever else, I was there for you, bro. And I'd always help a brother out no matter what. But it came down to the point where, my back needed to be scratched and he wasn't doing it. And period. I mean, it's like, hey, you can only be there for somebody so long when you need them to be there and they're not there for you. The writing's on the wall, and you go and do something else with someone else and help their career out. And that's just how it is right here. It's not like, I hate Tito Ortiz and I want ill will for him or anything like that. I'm just in a competition with him right now. I'm on the other side of the fence, and we got to win, period.
Well, you mentioned that Tito Ortiz, he fights better when he's calm. Now, obviously, there's not too many people in this world who knows Tito's weaknesses and strengths more than you do, Justin. Now, what would you say Tito's biggest weakness is, and something that Stephan Bonnar can be successful against Tito at?
Well, I used to say it was his problems outside the ring, but apparently now he's got his life in a spot where he wants it. So I'm sure he's mentally strong there. But Tito's worst enemy is himself. It always has been. And he'll find a way to self-destruct, He'll find a way to find an excuse and to, nurse an injury through camp and not train on the days when he should be training. And so we'll see what happens. But normally he'll find a little injury and it'll nag at him till, the end of camp, and he'll complain about it. And who knows if he'll even make it into the cage. That's been a popular tweet these days. Tito's not making it out, never going to make it into the cage. He's going to get an injury before it ever happens. So people know that about him, and so we'll see if he makes it to the cage, but I hope he makes it healthy. I hope he makes it 100%. And those guys get to get in there at their best and compete at their best, because I know right now guys like Ken Shamrock are saying Stephan Bonner's a loser. He's known for being a loser. Well, he's also known for being a warrior. He's also known for getting in there and having some of the most ugly fights this sport has ever known. And so when you're talking about a guy that's grindy and cagey and has nothing to lose, and all the pressure's on Tito, now you got something special there. And I think Stephan Bonner knows that, and I know Justin McCully does.
You know, you mentioned Tito Ortiz pulling out the fight potentially. Now, this is personal for you. So if basically Tito pulls out this fight and you put all your time and effort into training Stephan, obviously your victory coming out of this would be a win for Stephan Bonner. So if Tito doesn't even make it to the fight, just how much of a bitter blow would that be to you?
It would actually be a victory, you know. I think it'd be a victory because he would know that he didn't want to go out there. He would have conceded without even ever having to fight, and that's, you know, that's a victory in itself. So, I mean, if he doesn't make it, he's doomed. If he does make it, he's doomed in my mind.
Was you going in the cage and taking off the mask and getting that sort of reaction from Tito, was that like a small victory for you too, Justin?
Absolutely, 100%. The look on his face was priceless. You know, he thought he got away with the fast one. He thought he was just going to discard it and not have to worry about it, and we'd sweep it under the rug, and time would erase it. But it's not how it is, you know. Not in that kind of a magnitude of what he did, you know. And so when you look at the sheer reaction of him and how good that felt, that was amazing. It was hilarious. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have called Stephan and myself to say that was awesome. He needed that so bad, and what you said, everybody was wanting to say for years and years and years, but they just never had the balls to say it, you know. So he got duped on national TV by two vets who came in with a great plan and did something a little bit weird and shocking, and it worked like a charm. So I don't know, you know, I don't know that he could ever go bigger than that. I don't know if he can ever get us back as good as we got him. I think we won that one for sure.
Now, Justin, there seems to be a whole lot of confusion over why you were happy with Tito. Obviously, you said you've been saying that he hasn't paid you for training him, etc. You claim that he charged you for drinks that were actually free. That was on the house. You found out later on. But this was something Stephan revealed. You didn't say this personally to me, but it's something that Stephan revealed to Ariel Labani. Now, Tito Ortiz, he claims that you're a hanger-on. You was a hanger-on. He paid for everything whenever you guys travelled. Now, even Ken Shamrock said that he knows that Tito paid for everything. I'm not sure how he knows that, but
that's the point right there. How do you know that, Ken? Because you weren't there. As a matter of fact, never, ever were you there. You never saw a bill. You never saw him pay for a bill. So how can you say you know? You know? If you know, you witnessed it. You have other witnesses that can prove it. I challenge you. Dig into the woodwork. Go and find these coattail hanger-oners that supposedly got the free ride everywhere. Find them and ask them to tell you and back up his story. You won't find one. You will not find one. But I can find others that will tell you exactly what I have said is the gospel. I will tell you that I can, and again, I'm not going to name names and bring other people into this, but what he's saying is absolutely false, and what Ken's saying is preposterous. I mean, here's an example. You know, we go on a trip or whatever, and it's being paid for by the sponsor or by the person who is hiring him to be there. You know, I get thrown into a commercial. He makes $50,000. I don't, and he doesn't pay me a dime for the commercial, but he takes all the money and runs with it. You know what I mean? So there's time and time again, and I was like, all right, cool, bro deal, whatever. You know, yeah, bro him out. And Tito takes advantage of the bro deal like it's going out of style. You know, bro deal, cool, okay. Well, where's it coming back? And he has no respect for your time, for your family's time, for your, you know, your pocketbook, as long as he's winning and he's getting what he needs. And, you know, there's a lot of details and things like that I didn't want to go into about this. I didn't really want to make it about Tito and my beef and what he owed me from the past. I really wanted to make this about, you know, hey, my coaching record's impeccable, worked with amazing athletes in this sport, and that's really the point, Tito, is, you know, you lost me as not only a friend and a coach and a training partner and all those kind of things, and a guy in your camp that can produce victories for you and help you produce victories even against some of the toughest adversaries in your career. But now I'm on the other side, and you got to respect that. And that's the main point here. He's coming out of the woodwork trying to make it about everything else He's trying to make this JT Trumpets guy make it about everything else. Even Stephen Bonner made it about that a little bit when I really didn't want it to. I really wanted it to be about, the fact that when I stand in your corner, you gotta benefit there. And so Stephen Bonner definitely has the advantage with One Kick Nick. He's got Sergio Pena, and now he's got Justin McCully in his corner. And these three guys, I mean, you're talking about guys that are experts in their fields, in their divisions. The best jiu-jitsu guy in the world, one of the best kickboxing guys in the world, and one of the best MMA coaches in the world. So we got an amazing team on the coaching staff, and we have an amazing athlete in front of us that's a grinder, just tough as can be, and loves to get into those nasty fights. And that's really what this is about.
Now, if Tito Ortiz phoned you right now and he said, listen, Justin, I'm sorry, I'll make a public statement, I'll tell the truth, I did, stiff you out of some money, and I'll send a check your way, I'll send about 100,000 your way, or something like that, we'll just sum it up with that. What would your response be?
I really wish you would have done that before, me and Stefan set out on this endeavor. I appreciate the gesture. It means a lot as a friend moving forward. But unfortunately, I've made my commitment for this match, and it is the way it is. But, business is business, and we can always talk behind closed doors and make amends about things, but we're still going to have to go out there and compete.
Where does it end with you, Justin? Do you lay you and Tito to bed after the Stephen Bonner fight, or have you and Tito still got unfinished business?
I think we have unfinished business now. When he has people threatening me, telling me that they have wild cards about me and all this other kind of stuff, and then, you have legends coming on to berate me and things like that. And, I mean, you're calling me the gimp and all that kind of stuff. I guess you didn't learn your lesson. So if, there's something that needs to be handled, in my mind there is, then, yeah, there's unfinished business for sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to say in regards to JT, Ken Shamrock, or Tito Ortiz? Something we might not have covered?
There's kind of a lot we haven't covered, and I don't want to go into too much of it, but people, if they think there's any jealousy here, there's not. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with, what happened between us in the past. He knows exactly what it is. Ken Shamrock says if it was him in that ring, he would have broken our noses. I mean, you're talking tough over there. You're jumping into business that you shouldn't be in. If you really want to scrap, you really want to go for it, jump out of retirement, go ahead.
Hey, that'll be a good fight. That'll be a very good fight.
I'll fight you one-armed. I don't care if it helps for the handicap, for the age, whatever it is. But, I mean, don't sit there and get crazy and say things that you shouldn't be saying about people that you shouldn't be saying them about. Because if anybody's coming from the bleachers, it's Ken right now and sitting this JT guy. And I got a call the other day from a mutual friend, JT, and he said you're a pretty cool guy, and he said, maybe let you off the hook for this one, and so maybe I will, but don't ever say anything threatening towards me again, please. That's all I got to say to you, buddy.
So, was that half a call out to Ken Shamrock on the MMA Grip Fighting Talk show there?
Again, Ken's a legend. He's a forefather of our sport. I mean, the guy was wrestling in Japan with Fujiwara and Inoki and Funaki and all those guys early on, Suzuki, all the greats over there. And obviously, came from the league Pancreas that produced, unbelievable legends in our sport. And he really paved the way for a lot of us. And something that I was very respectful of in the beginning, and a guy like Tito wasn't. He cut him down, tried to make his name off him, and did make his name off him. Called his Lions Den the litter box, put T-shirts on that said, "I killed Kenny," went over and flipped him off after he beat one of his students. I mean, so when you talk about the utmost disrespect, it came from Tito Ortiz. So I don't know if you're going senile, you lost your mind, but you're coming back to defend that guy and saying that it's disrespectful what I did to him when all I did was just cover myself up to reveal myself to let him know that I wasn't working with him anymore and be working with Stefan, and you're saying that that's more disrespectful than a guy wearing a shirt that says, "I just killed you," and the guy who's flipping you off in your face on national TV after dusting your student and leaving him there and doing the gravedigger on him, and you're sitting here telling me that I'm disrespectful? I mean, this guy's delusional. I mean, it pretty much sounded like a commercial for him and his new motivational speaking adventures. And good for him. Best of luck with it. but I think he's delusional.
A personal question here, Justin, because you talk about the old days where Tito used to wear the T-shirts to the Lions Den, etc. Now, there's backstage footage where the Lions Den wanted to jump Tito, they wanted to beat him up. But Mark Coleman and Kevin Randleman, they come to Tito's aid. They was going to defend him against the Lions Den. Then, obviously, Mark Coleman doesn't like Tito anymore, and Kevin Randleman fucking hates Tito Ortiz. I don't know why. Do you know why Kevin Randleman hates Tito Ortiz? This is a personal question for me.
Well, you see, I mean, I'm not gonna comment on it. I do like Kevin Randleman and Mark Coleman quite well. When we had Extreme University down in Mission Viejo, one of my brother's first projects and gyms, in 1997, we opened a mixed martial arts facility that had boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and everything else under the sun. Jeet Kune Do. We had a guy there, Bruce Wilkerson, who's from the Inosanto Academy, and we just covered the gamut of martial arts, you know, and so back in those days, we had Coleman there, we had Randleman there, we had Kerr there, and everybody came through that gym, and they were very respectful, awesome guys. I mean, I had some of my most fun days wrestling and with those guys, and you know, I would say that whatever reasons they have, I would imagine that they're valid. And those are two other stud athletes in this sport that shared a popular opinion about the people's champion, so-called people's champion, another thing that he stole from somebody. And yeah, so I would tend to believe them. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I'm sure it's a valid excuse, or a reason, I should say.
Well, hopefully I can get a response from JT and Ken Shamrock too, possibly Tito Ortiz.
I feel sorry for him. I really feel sorry for JT, man. JT, I was once like you, bro. You know, and you know, I know what you're doing and what you're saying is all because of your love for Tito, and my hat's off to you for being such an honorable friend. And really, I don't judge a guy for what he's doing, but why he's doing it. Why you're doing that, JT, is because you love Tito and you're trying to do the best for him. But I will warn you, my friend, that I was once you too, and it will happen to you just like it happened to everybody else. So just put your seatbelt on and remember I told you that, okay, Val?
Well, we've had guys like JT get involved, Ken Shamrock get involved. I get the feeling that you just want it to be between you and Tito Ortiz, not between you and JT, not between you and Ken Shamrock. Is that the way you want it to be?
I mean, that's what it is. It's what it is. If these other guys are getting involved, then you're getting involved and you're jumping into a situation, then you're going to be involved. I didn't ask you to be involved. I didn't attack you. I didn't go look for you, search you out, never mentioned you, never put your name in my mouth. But you guys felt that you needed to put my name in your mouth. You guys felt that you needed to run to his aid and defend him for whatever it is. Well, that's fine. You guys chose to get involved. So whatever happens from here on out is not my fault. I didn't do it. I didn't ask for it. You guys did. So if you guys want to play nice and not say bad things about me, then we can play nice. But if you want to continue to attack me, then I'll have to do what I have to do.
Well, that's a good note to leave the show on. From the MMA Crits Fighting Talk Show, thank you for watching.